once again, I'm Chelsea Bellicky, and this is my vlog number 2 about my response to the reading of Queer Theory and the viewing of Paris is Burning. I'm going to start things off with my questions and responses regarding the movie Paris is Burning. The very first thought that passed through my head when watching this movie is, why is it titled Paris is Burning when it's set in New York? So I don't think they ever specifically said during the documentary like where the name came from, but they did mention something about Paris's ball. So I was wondering, like, is Paris a human, or is it just like the balls they have are modeled after the city Paris? So not really sure about that one. Overall, I really liked this movie. Initially, when I found out it was a documentary, I was like, oh great, this is gonna be super boring. It's just a documentary. But it was actually really fun and educational, and there's a lot that went on in the movie that I had no idea even existed. So one of the things I thought that was really cool about this movie was the strong sense of community that everyone in it had. Um, they had these houses that they could live in, and they would have like a mother, and some of them had fathers. And when they talked about how the house was like a family to them, and it kind of reminded me of like sorority houses that you see on college campuses. And they also talked about how some kids get rejected by like their biological families because they are gay, which was really sad to me that your family would reject you. But I also think it's cool that they have those houses there so the kids still have like a family and a community that they belong to, even if their biological family doesn't accept them. Another thing that really stuck out to me was the effort that people go through to get sex changes. Like some of them were talking about how they have to get like breast and cheek implants. There are people who got nose jobs and then actually doing the like sex reassignment surgery. Like it takes so much effort to go through that, and I have a lot more respect for people who have gone through that now that I realize some of what they have to go through. Going into the movie, I thought it was just going to be about sexuality, but they also talked quite frequently about like the race issues and class issues that they also face. So it's even just outside of discrimination for being gay. Like a lot of these people also had to deal with the racial discrimination. Growing up in poor communities. I don't want to make this too long since I still have to talk about the reading of queer theory. So I'm just gonna say my one last little bit, and that's just that the voguing they did in the movies looked so cool, and I really want to try it sometime. Like it kind of looked like a way of fighting, but through dance. So yeah, that was a really cool concept, and now I'm gonna move on to the paper. The reading we had to do was queer theory, and it was a very long reading, but I like the fact that it tied what was going on through like the gay liberation process and with what was happening historically. I thought that was really cool. And I also liked that the author presented multiple arguments from different like articles, essays, papers, books that have been written about the topic. So I like the fact that it wasn't just, oh, you should think this and nothing else. It was like, here's a couple different opposing theories. Here's what they have in common. Here's what they don't. So I really liked that you kind of got more of like a worldwide view, and she gave you the ability to form your own opinions instead of just only seeing hers. So the part of this reading that stuck out to me the most was when they were talking about Rich's theory of there being like a lesbian spectrum. So I've actually had conversations with one of my really good friends about how it is a spectrum. You're not just really gay or straight. Everyone's kind of somewhere in between. And she always jokes that she's like 5% gay. So I thought it was kind of cool seeing that somebody historically who was like published important papers had these same kind of ideas that I had. So that was awesome. The thing that I found most shocking about the reading was the separation between like gay men and lesbians, and also feminists a little bit. I guess I just kind of assumed like, oh, you're gay, so you're all just gonna be in one big group and fight together. But they had like the Meta Sheen Society. I don't know if I said that right, and that was primarily focused on gay men and just like advocating their rights. And in response to that, they kind of formed the Daughters of Bilitis, and that was more of a lesbian group. But even that group kind of discriminated. It didn't really accept like the butch lesbian as much, which was kind of weird to me. I would have thought that they would accept all lesbians. And also the fact that the feminists didn't like having lesbians in their group was weird to me, because you always think of feminism as like wanting equal rights for everybody. So having somebody who's fighting for equal rights for everybody not want certain people in their group was weird to me, and it seemed kind of contradictory. I'm going to end the video here just because it's already twice as long as it needs to be. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.